Blessings, all beloved brothers and sisters of this magical, wonderful, worldwide web we call Earth, Pachamama. So I wanted to do my second part offering in regards to the Whirling Rainbow Prophecy. And then, lo and behold, on the solstice, there was such profound updates and just energies flying and pulsing through, transmitting through the solar stargate, that it just blew me out of the water. I do want to say that I believe on this solstice, the solstice, that in this solar stargate, we actually have really amped up the vibration ascension codes. Yesterday was such a powerful day right through into the night. And, you know, a lot of us have been feeling really heavy, really dense, just really exhausted, which again, you know, the Schumann has been off the hook, the Schumann resonance. There's a lot of, you know, pictures going around of just kind of what the charts of the Schumann resonance look like. And a lot of us have seen never anything like this. We don't know if it's actually real, authentic or not, but it certainly is a profound, profound time. And the energy just keeps amping up. So hang on to your shorts, buckle up, you know, we are preparing for liftoff. With that being said, I am just now doing this update today because the content from yesterday seems no longer relevant as we've just moved through an ascension upgrade. And, you know, it's interesting because given that there's been so much heavy energy and lethargy and today I work at the Waldorf School here in Nelson, British Columbia. I have 2.5 to 5-year-olds in a preschool, and my class, you know, has been really moody. Last couple of weeks, I would say. You know, there's always the waves, there's always the ups and the downs, but honestly speaking, in respect to the days prior and then today, like the energy was so noticeable in the children, and I do see children as being natural barometers. Like they can totally do a thermometer on the energy temperature. And so they seemed like they were so much more in their heart chakras, just so full of love. And like I don't even know how to describe it, but their energy was just so upgraded and updated, and I felt upgraded and updated. And I hope you are also feeling those feelings and receiving these awesome energies. So that all being said, Shakina Ma here. I am going to be doing my second part offering in regards to the offerings I had wanted to share at the Sasquatch family reunion. And that being said, this was in color. It's not now, but you know, if this were in color, this is a rainbow body activation from the Buddhist Dojin tribe. The pathway of the Buddhist pathway is to create the rainbow light body. And again, in Egyptian, they would call it the Krast, the Krst, Krast body. Christos, Latin, Christ, English. We have, you know, the light body, the perfected body, the rainbow body of light, the Merkaba, all these various ways of saying the very same thing, really, because as we know, when there's truth, that truth runs through all places, all cultures, all traditions, all religions. It goes right through the entire Pachamama, right through the whole planetary body, Earth Mother. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to start off first by reading this. I should let you know that a few years back, I got to meet the Divine Brother Sunbo. And Sunbo, I'm not sure if you know, is quite like the activator. So when him and I became, kindred souls, when we recognized each other, which was pretty much right away. I'm more of a merfolk, a mermaidian soul, and he for sure is Sasquatch. And he just like gave me this huge Sasquatch kind of oomph. Like I just started being able to have really powerful experiences. And the same in with meeting Kelly and the other beautiful souls that come together in the Sasquatch family reunion. And yeah, so this happened to me, that I channeled this back in 2019. And I had just come from the Sasquatch gathering with Sambo from Nelson here when he lived here in Nelson area. And so this is called Sasquatch Council Speaks by Shakina Ma, and it's 2019 10/24. So back a while back. Okay. The sound of the thundering drum alerted me as I was going in again. It begins by reverberating through my feet, up to my heart, through the inside of my inner ears, like tinnitus right then into my heart. The tingling sensations of vibration ripple through my crown, and it connects all the rivers in my meridians, kind of all the rivers in the veins, capillaries right into the ocean of my heart, all connecting in. Rivers of light flowing right into my heart center, the anahata, which, like a thunderbird, gets really intense, feeling like something is stretching, expanding, and growing. Powerful electricity, vibration, and pure frequency. That is then when they appear like ghostly forms, ethereal and ancient. And there I was with the council, all illuminated in light, showing me their activated Merkabas, their rainbow light bodies. Sister, daughter, beloved, they image into me with an inner voice that speaks right to my heart. We are here to show you what you need to know, what you have always known, what they, the parasites, the dark lords, have tried to hide from you, what they have fed off of from you, and what they have planned to fruition, which is manifesting at this time, which is the destruction of your access to these energetic signatures, hence do directed energy weapons, 5G, black goo, chemtrails, vaccinations, fluoridation, GMO food, and so on and so forth. The list is endless. Let's start with the 7 bowls, 7 chakras, the ganglion nerve centers. Brains are wheels of light that spin the engines of your own organic technology, which ignites one's Merkaba or rainbow light body. Notice the rainbow bridge of the chakra scales. Notice the as within, so without, as above, so below. The light scale, the musical scale, the planetaries are but chakras of the universe. The whole existence revolves around this as the law of one, in the unified field of consciousness. Now note that there are also 7 seals which have covered your centers of chi, that have sealed you off, separating you from the pulsing truth of the electrical plasmic universe. We have watched it all happen. This is the Sasquatch speaking. We have seen some of our own captured and tortured and tested on and experimented on, as all organisms have, from micro to the macro. We know, for we escaped the cage that's been placed upon the constructs of your mind. We did not drop as your ancestors have. We maintained our rainbow light bodies, our bodies of light, while humankind got manipulated, mind-controlled, programmed, tortured, and thus enslaved. Now the teachings that we have been guardians of for as long as space and time has existed on Gaia and beyond into the cosmos, we, like our brother Chewbacca, as an ambassador, as a representative of our clans, for he is a symbol of our people and our kind, traveling through the cosmos, speaking in light language and being connected to the light, serving the light. Yes, Chewbacca has been a representative of our people so that you would not forget that we do exist and we are real. The elders of the council are quite serious beings, but they are also quite funny and very easily lovable. For we, guardians of the truth, and the truth is what we all, as organic beings, have a rainbow light body, must sustain and maintain. For truth is the vibration of the rainbow light body. The Buddhists, through the Tibetans and Nepalese and Vedic scriptures, have conveyed this, taught this, and exemplified it. The Egyptians and other ancient civilizations were masters of this as well. Mystery school centers around the globe taught this prior to the fall of Atlantis, the fall of grace, as is described in your enslaver's book, which they have called the Bible, which had been based on truth and yet manipulated and used as a political tool. So, you should never be fearing your maker. For your maker, your father, your mother God, is like a family, which is why when it says we are made in God's image, we are made as a mother and as a father and as a child, as brothers, as sisters, as grandmothers and grandfathers, aunties and uncles, all connected, all related, all a part of one family. And just like a beautiful mother or father loves their wee one, loves their babe, loves their child, so does God, the mother and the father, love each and every one of you. And in this way would never want anything to happen to you. And so you may know the truth from the lies by in how there is love or how there is fear, how there is wickedness or how there is righteousness, how there is a death cult or how there is a living light web of connection. Such trickery. If you humans could just see through the seals which have covered your inner senses and blocked you from seeing and knowing truth, you would also be able to see what we, the Sabe, the Sasquatch, have always seen, which is again the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So yes, the rainbow body is activated through love and light, which is the essence of creation. This essence is also what is fed upon and turned into loosh through black magic. Hence we have here Jesus the Christ. We know him well. He was nothing like he traveled, of course, through the Egyptian. He traveled through the Egyptian mystery schools into India, Tibet, and all over. He was also able to travel via his own Merkaba, communing with shamans and holy people worldwide, as well as the interdimensionals. He is a brother to us, and his heart really is a sacred heart, as it has been activated into the Christos, or light consciousness, known in Kemet or ancient Egypt as Christ, Krst. Yeshua the Christ was a teacher and could entrain people into the heart, the pure heart frequency. That would help to burn off their karmas, dross, implants, and would activate their own Christos light bodies. The teachings of Christ and the Magdalena were all about activating the Ka body within the Merkaba, and this is why he was crucified, sacrificed, and this is also how he was able to ascend and transcend. So here is a picture of Christ in his rainbow light body. There's many, many pictures in the world of history that really, if you travel around the world, you will see represented through a manifold of cultures. But unfortunately, the parasites got hold of this and, as always, inverted. And you will know, I'd like to say, you will know the inversion, and it's like a cup, right? You have a cup, you invert it, you turn it over, and it's inverted, perverted. It's basically reverted. It's everything backwards and upside down, the inside upside down world, right? So it's unable to be filled and to hold like a chalice. The essence is the waters of life. Mini wachoni, water is life. So when you have your vessel, your temple, your body, your consciousness, your even chakras, the rainbow bridge, when you have that inverted, perverted, and reverted, diverted, all of the above, you will then be unable to receive the holy elixirs of life. And this really messes with your endocrine system, your glandular system, which is responsible for the super serotonins and all these divine secretions that come from your hopefully uncalcified pineal gland, pituitary glands, but also all of your glands. And that is how, some practice the tantra, the sex magic, because, you've got your ovaries and your testicle, your gonads, you've got all these secretions and hormones that are pulsing as above, so below. So within the pineal pituitary glands, through the thyroid, parathyroid, all the way into the ovaries, into the gonads, you have all these channels of intelligence, right? They all work together. So even when you look at, there's a picture of George Washington, and he's sitting on a rainbow. So here it is here. Hard to see here, but he's sitting on a rainbow, right? And this is in the Capitol. So this is George Washington. So we have all witnessed all of the lies, deceptions, and snares that have developed since the fall of grace. And the fall of grace is from that Atlantean timeline. We really shifted the whole planet into an axis, into a place where it's just been really, really messed up, like off kilter, like malaligned. It's like it needs a giant chiropractic shift, right? And that's a big part of what is coming within the polar shift that is coming, and also just within this solar nova. Our sun is going to nova. So the image I was shown for that is like the old school Wonder Woman, Diane Carter, I should say, sorry, Diana Prince. Her real name's Linda Carter. Her actress, Wonder Woman, is Diana Prince. And so she spins and spins and spins, and then she morphs into this kind of like almost like gaseous, ethereal, like light, kind of like something in the heavens. And then she, boom, turns into novas, metamorphosizes, caterpillar to butterfly, into then the Wonder Woman, into then her avatar. And so I have been shown this over and over again, that that's what our sun is doing, our earth is doing, and us, each an individual, what we are also doing collectively. So there's a like a micro, macro, fractal dance going on, and that is the invitation. The Whirling Rainbow Prophecy is all about, which is on Prophecy Rock in the Hopi Reservation in Arizona. And so at Prophecy Rock, there's, glyphs on the rock, and then like it shows World War I, World War II, World War III, and we are actually right now in World War III. So a lot of us have been seeing that there's all sorts of military and aircraft, and we know the Ukraine and Russian war, which is all biblical prophecy as well, because the Bible is like the handbook. The Bible is like it really is like, say if you're a football player and you have your playbook, so it has all the plays. There's also, of course, truth in there, because of course that's how it works. You have to take the truth, and then you have to have those essence, those like nuggets of gold in there, so that people will want to be drawn to it and read it, and so on and so forth. But also it's been highly, highly manipulated, politicized, etc. And that's why even now the Pope is looking at changing the Bible, which the very end of the Bible says anybody who brings anything to this or takes anything from this is going to be like eternally damned. So I think it's very ironic. Anyway, so here we go. When we fell from grace, we were falling from the higher dimensions. So that's what I wanted to say. The fall from grace is really the falling from, and if you look at the map of consciousness, you will see that there's 1,000, and then we go down to 0. And 0 is like fear and hatred and grief and shame and all these energies from there. And then it goes up and up and up into like that, and that pure stream of enlightened consciousness at 1,000 and even beyond. So when we fell from grace, we fell dimensionally, and now we're kind of residing in this 1, 2, 3D. And then 4D, as I've been shown, is kind of the cube, the black cube. Also the do 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 pop goes the weasel. It's the place where we need to escape the cage, jump out of the box, the firmament. This has also got to do with like that prison, quarantined consciousness that's been held in bondage. And so we want to break free and liberate, become enlightened, right? And come back out of the 4D, and the archons, or the watchers, or the ones that have been the architects, or the Masonic people that have architecturally designed and engineered, which go way, 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 way back into the Dracos and all these reptilian clans and the Greys and all these manipulated soulless beings that need to feed off of us. So there's this whole almost real like Star Wars. And so one thing I just like to drop in regards to Star Wars is that George Lucas, the creator, producer, the writer of that series of films, his actual best friend was Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell, for those who don't know, is a historian. And he really was kind of the one that brought all the attention into the hero's journey, right? The great journey that each and every one of us are on. And that journey is marked into moving through that quest, the great work, as they call it in the alchemical tradition, to go from like the Fool in the beginning of the Tarot, and then all the way through to that whole royal path that then leads you to that ultimate place of completion. And so we want to recognize, you know, the villains and the heroes and that whole quest and that whole, I guess it's kind of like a battle of forces and energies, but it's also really like the two paths of the Hopi prophecy on Prophecy Rock, the path of the spiritualist, the path of the materialist, and which way you're going to go. And that's what Joseph Campbell taught. And then that's what was inspired then into, you could say, Joseph Campbell was like the mentor, really good friend, teacher, mentor of George Lucas. So George Lucas's inspiration was all based on truth, really, because, you know, Joseph Campbell was a historian, he was a professor, and he taught us the history of all the mythologies and all these cultural understandings of who we are, where we came from, why we're here. So I believe that Joseph Campbell was one of the great White Brotherhood of Light soul beings, that he came here from that consciousness of an ascended master to help to awaken us to the reality of what is going on, that we have been blind, deaf, and dumb to. You know, eyes to see, ears to hear, and I like to say, and a heart that's wide open, right? So we want to recognize all these false, you know, illusions, delusions, confusions, all the lies, deceptions, and snares that have developed since the fall of grace, as the humans would say. We would say, the Sasquatch would say, the fall of densities, the literal drop of vibration from bliss to hatred, war, perversion, and sickness. So we could be living in the Anand, in the Shambhala, in the Nirvana, in this beautiful realm of bliss, as the Egyptians called it, the dimensions of the blessed. So we would like to ascend back into that place, like really Buffy St. Marie says when she sings her song, Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong. Yes, that was actually an original Buffy St. Marie. And yes, let us ascend back up to where we belong. Love lift us up to where we belong, onto the mountainside where the eagles cry, right? So the plug is being pulled on evil. They have no power in the near to future. All power of creation is being used to wake up all of the sentient souls and to restore the grid. That is why we have come more and more to help the humans prepare. The Rainbow Warriors, the Rainbow Prophecy, and the Rainbow Light Body are all connected, are all one. So do not be caught in thoughts. Do not become caught in thoughts like thought constructs, beliefs, negativity, most of which has been programmed into you, conditioned, groomed into you. But instead, feel us, your Sasquatch brothers and sisters, and feel the truth like the Thunderbird charging you once again with life source, life force, for you will need it at these times when the rainbow serpent rises again. And Sambo went to Australia to take part in the rainbow serpent ceremonies being held in Australia back at the time when COVID broke loose. And COVID 2020, that's a place of, well, 2020 is perfect vision, right? So eyes to see, ears to hear, 2020. 20 in the tarot or in numerology, in the Egyptian numerology, is the judgment card. So judgment, being able to see, it also marked the time of Judgment Day, which is not a day, but it's a timeline. So I believe, as well as my, I do the medicine wheel every day and have done the medicine wheel ceremony every day for as long as I can remember, like beyond 10, 20, 30, I just a really long time I've been doing it. And when you do something like that for a really long time, it becomes living. And so when I do, I call in the east the place of the rising sun, which is represented by the winged ones, the fairies and the angels and the ascended masters in the air element. And then I look to, from the springtide of that rising sun, of that dawning energy, of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And then I look to the south and I see the dragons and I see the serpent lines, the rainbow serpent, the ley lines, the dragon lines. And I look at the peaking sun, which is the summer tides. And then I look over to the west and I see that, sorry, I was just getting a call. And I look to the west and I look to the merfolk, the mermaids, the mermen, the people of the water. And I see that that is the setting sun, that is the autumn time. And then I look to the north and I see the earth and I see the Sasquatch, I see the winter time, I see the dark of night, midnight. And each way is a portal, each way 4 directions, 4 seasons, 4 times of the day, 4 different relations, right? And so in all this consciousness, we are able to